What are you doing? Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Pluto Astrology, and I'm doing, because I've been requested by loads of people, because I like delving into charts and stuff of like people that are like celebrities or whatever, or just like in the public eye and stuff. And someone said to me, a few people said to me, why don't you do serial killers? Because I know you're really into all that sort of, I'm into like serial killers and murder documentaries. I mean, I've got Pluto in the first house, hence why Pluto boy astrology. Got Pluto in the first house, Mars in the first house, got Jupiter in Scorpio. I'm really into that 8th house sort of stuff. I'm into like the occult, crime investigation, that sort of thing. Really into all that. So I thought, yeah, why not? I didn't even think to do it. So I thought I would start off the serial killer series with I thought I want to do like British, because loads of American ones that people have already done. I thought I'd start with some British ones. So I'm going to do the Moors murders. So they're like in the 60s. So it's like Ian, I keep getting the names wrong. It's Ian Huntley and Myra something. No, I can't remember. She's in the video for him now as well. Myra Hindley and Ian Brady. I keep getting the names mixed up. Myra Hindley and Ian Brady. Yeah. So they're the Moors murderers. They're called. So they were like this serial killer couple who like kidnapped, abused, and murdered like quite a few people. I'm sure their victims were like teenagers and stuff as well. So yeah, really interesting. I've done with the charts. I'm going to do like their natal charts to see what's going on in their birth charts when they're born, as to why they're the way they are, and their criminal makeup. I did like a synastry report as well, so I'll put their charts together. So every time I do a video, the dogs start biting, literally. Why do I separate you, mate? Why can't you both be good? They just want to be in all my videos. See, he's smiling now. Happy? Go. So what was I say? Oh yeah, so I did a synastry chart for them too. So I put their charts together and see what their relationship is like, as to why they're attracted to each other, why they're brought out. They actually set off certain points in each other's charts to make them more psychotic and crazy, and brought out those serial killer tendencies in each other. And then I also did a transit chart as well, so you can see how transits look like. So I did a transit chart for the day they went to prison, as to what was going on in the sky, as to how it affected the outcome, as to why they didn't get away with stuff, why they went to prison, and how they got busted and all that shit, basically. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna pull their charts up, and if you do want to book a reading with me as well, you can comment on the post here. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Pluto Boy Astrology, and you can DM me there and book a reading with me and do like natal charts, synastry, solar return, loads of stuff like. So just get in touch, and I'd love it if you like, subscribe, comment, have a look on if I've missed anything out, or if I haven't seen that you want to comment on, or any Astro chat you want to chat about. I look forward to hearing from you anyway. So I'm gonna get their charts up now, and oh my god, dogs are trying to kill each other as well. I think it's that super killer engine in the air now. I need to sage the house. Oi! No! That's naughty. You just sage the house with energy now, I think, after doing these charts. But yeah, this is the first one in the series, and I'm going to try and do as many as I can. It's fine. I love this subject anyway. I find it so fascinating. It just speaks to my Plutonian heart. So yeah, I'm going to pull their charts up now and get going. So well, let's have a look. So I'm just going to get stuck in with the charts. So I'm going to do his first, then hers. I'll do a synastry as well to see like their relationship, star compatibility, all that, and their relationship dynamics. And also I also did what you call it, a transit for the day they go at their trial date, and as to what was happening in the skies, to why they went down, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna get stuck in with him first. So like he has a Taurus ascendant, so straight away you're like, oh well, Taurus is not like a psychotic, or doesn't really seem to Taurus is a stable sign, you know. They're reliable, trustworthy, you know, hardworking, all that typical Taurus stuff. So you look into the aspects. So like he's got his Venus into his. So the ruler, I want to break it down. So the ruler of Taurus is Venus, which is in his 9th house. It's at 3 degrees, which is the degree of Gemini. So Gemini is known for, you know, having, I'm not going to say, okay, because we're looking at the darker side of the aspects here, because we're dealing with a dark individual. I'm going to just pick on the negatives, really, and the darker side of each characteristic. So don't be like, oh my god, I've got that aspect, I'm a serial killer, because, you know, it's not the same for everybody. You have to look at the whole chart, rare, all that shit, okay? So don't be like losing your shit if you've got certain aspects, okay? Because everything's individual. You have to look at the whole chart, all that stuff. So yeah, okay, so he's got Venus in Gemini. Venus in Capricorn with the Gemini degrees. The Gemini is known for having loose morals. They very open-minded when it comes to sex. The 9th house is to do with high learning, religion. It can make people be like religious fanatics almost as well. Having 9th house placements, when we're talking about extremes, okay. Venus doesn't like being in Capricorn anyway. It's like, is he in detriment? If he's not in detriment, it's definitely not its favourite house sign to be in anyway. It doesn't do well in Capricorn. Venus likes to be free-flowing. It likes to be expressive. It can't do that in Cap. Capricorn's very suppressive energy. So having his chart ruler in detriment in Capricorn, it doesn't bode well anyway. So it makes the person not be able to express themselves. I've noticed Venus Capricorn people can have like sexual fantasies where it can be like anything to do with BDSM, being restraints, domineering, all that sort of stuff, which I know that he was known for a bit. Also, obviously, he having that it's a conjunction with Mercury as well. See, Mercury's also at 3 degrees of Gemini, which is a Gemini degree, and again in Capricorn. So having that conjunction can make, and it's trining Uranus. So Uranus is all to do with eccentricity, being like eccentric and unconventional, and also it can make you a bit of a maniac. Having that, especially in his 1st house as well. So having that trine aspect. So the 1st house is trining with the 9th house. So his chart ruler is in conjunction with Mercury, the mind. So having Uranus trine Mercury can also mean that he doesn't think like normal people. And also I know that a lot of his attacks were on younger people, weren't they? His sexual attacks and his violence and his killings were with younger people. So Mercury rules represents younger people as well. So having that conjunction with Venus, trining Uranus as well, can be where some of his sexual fantasies stem from. Also as well, the Sun, his life force here, the Sun, is also in I'll say like a loose conjunction with Venus and Mercury also. So that can kind of like burn out and overshine the energy of Venus and Mercury. So it can kind of make them not work to their best abilities, because the sun's burning Venus and the sun's burning Mercury as well, because the sun's rays are so bright and they're so close to it. So having that Capricorn dominating sun in such close proximity to Venus and Mercury, making that trine aspect to Uranus as well, can be where his sexual fantasies and part of his mania stems from. You know, Uranus is trining his MC and his sun alone anyway. So Uranus in Taurus makes Taurus unconventional. Taurus doesn't like to be unconventional. Taurus likes to follow the rules. It likes to have stability. Whereas Uranus, which rules his 10th house, doesn't so I just saw something else in his chart there. Just went on a beaten track there. So yeah, Uranus is square his Jupiter as well. So yeah, the rule of the tenth house is to do with your public persona, your image, what people see when they first see you. Is in his first house. He came across quite Aquarian, quite cold. Uranus and Aquarius makes you quite cold and aloof and strange and eccentric. All that shit from the 10th house is also in his first house, making a square aspect. So square is a challenge, you know what I mean? So his mind and his persona was always being challenged by himself internally. Having that Jupiter in his 10th house, right? If you look at his 4th house down here, his inner mind, his inner being, how you are inside, it's on the cusp of his 3rd and 4th house, and it's making an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius. So all this Plutonian energy that he's got, you know, Pluto rules sex, deception, obsession, lies. It can rule, you know, violence, anger, rage. Is making an opposition to Jupiter. So Jupiter's blowing that up. Jupiter making any aspect to Pluto is blowing up all those feelings in his inner mind, because the 3rd house rules your mind and how you think and how you communicate. And he's got Pluto in Cancer there, but she's volatile anyway. Cancer, Pluto in Cancer is like heating things up in your emotions, and having that Pluto aspect makes it very volatile. It's at the 29th degree as well. 29 is like the critical degree in astrology, because it's when a sign is like a planet is about to move into the next sign. So it's at its most fullest it can be. So Pluto being full of anger, rage, in Cancer, bubbling over, about to explode into the next sign of Leo, is also trining, yeah. So it's trining Saturn. Saturn is a house of gains. Saturn is like making a blockage to that anger and that rage in his 3rd, going on to the 4th house. So he's got quite a lot of aspects going on there already. This is just from finding out his ascendant. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to say, like, having Uranus in his 1st house, which is ruler of his 10th. So status would be really important to him, like how people see him would be really important to him, but because it's in Aquarius and Uranus as well, how he came across would have been very eccentric anyway. So he has a lot of planets in the 9th house and in Capricorn. Capricorn's all choose restriction. So, but it's a Sagittarius stellium, because Sagittarius traditionally rules that 9th house. So it can make you, so some religious prophets and fantasists and fanatics have this sort of stellium anyway. And it can make you a bit preachy. So I don't know if he had strong beliefs or strong views and beliefs which might not have been the norm to other people. Obviously they weren't there, because he was a sexual predator, wasn't he? So he had like a strong predatory beliefs anyway, having that Sagittarian stellium in Capricorn, making aspects to his 1st house. He has his moon in Capricorn as well. So having a Capricorn moon is not a very emotive moon anyway. So it's quite a cold moon. So he wasn't very emotional. I think he was they said he was quite a cold person. He looks quite cold anyway, you know what I mean? A cold, being a bloody serial killer, for God's sake, a cold-blooded killer. So having that moon in Capricorn anyway is an indication to that. So his moon makes aspects to Pluto as well. It's called a Hades moon. These people are master manipulators. They can be self-destructive and obsessed with the dark side as well. And I know he's a bit of a loner anyway, so having a Hades moon anyway can make you a bit of a loner, and it makes you hard to form relationships with others, and just hard to form normal relationships anyway. And I know that he was very manipulative, well, reading about him, that he was a very manipulative person, and that can stem from having this Hades moon. Just checking that it's recording because I've got so much information I want to get through. Check it, yeah. So having that Hades moon can make you have like difficulty with relationships. It can also make you have. I'm sure I read that he has problems with his own mum as well. So having that Hades moon can make you have problems with your own mother as well. So a lot of his hatred towards women, hatred towards kids, sexual fantasies can stem from having lots of problems with his own mother as well. So I'm not too deep as to how. I don't know if he was abused by his own mum himself, which is why it led to the way his own abuse on his victims. That can be a strong indicator to that as well. Having that Pluto at 29 degrees and his moon at 19 degrees, opposing each other, in the 3rd and 9th house. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so his moon sextiles Saturn. Also, his Saturn's at 29 degrees, a critical degree, going into the 12th house of death and imprisonment. So he would have had trouble expressing his feelings. Saturn is the repressor. Saturn in the 11th house. 11th house is your friends. He would have been alone. He wouldn't have had many friends, if any friends at all, because Saturn's making a sextile to that moon. Saturn's like blocking his moon on emotions, and blocking your gains as well. While we're talking about the 11th house, he's got Mars in Pisces in the 11th house as well. So Mars hates being in Pisces because it bubbles over and explodes. Because Mars is a hot, fiery planet. It's in the water sign. It doesn't do good in water anyway. What happens when you put Mars you put something boiling in water? It bubbles over and explodes, doesn't it? Which would have made him very explosive, violent person, having that Mars in Pisces. Explosive character. It's like a very loose. It's sextile to his moon, so it's like it's sextile in my house. I want to say it's a very large orb. It's more than 10 degrees. You know what I mean? Just about. It's like 11 degrees in it. My maths is not really good today. Yeah. Oh God, it's sextile by house. So. Mars sextiling your moon, so he's very passionate, explosive, volatile person. Which he did some terrible things to his victims and before he killed them and stuff. Anyway, and Mars rules violence, weapons, knives. He stabbed a lot of his victims and cut them up and stuff. That will be indicated with the Mars in Pisces sextiling your moon. He has a strong sextile to Venus and Mercury as well with that Mars in Pisces. So a sextile is an aspect where it's working together with Venus and it's working together with Mercury. So he had those strong sexual fantasies with his Venus and his Mars aspects. So a lot of his fantasies would have stemmed from there as well. Having that, so I've been looking at his chart in Placidus as well. So let me just see if I can skim that over. Is that the right one? Yeah. So see if we can enlarge that. Because I use whole signs and I use Placidus as well. So in Placidus, it shifts a lot of his planets into the 9th house. Also, what else do you want to say? Should I go back to that? Yeah, I'm just going through my notes because I've been quite strategic. I've done this. So he's got his North Node in the 8th house in whole sign in Sagittarius. Well, the 8th house is all to do with sex, death, the occult. That's where his life purpose lied in, so he would have had like a fascination with that anyway, having that North Node there. North Node is your life purpose as to why you're here. So he's having that in the 8th house, all to do with sex, death, violence, the occult, those sort of things that have interested him anyway. So that would have put him on his life path here. What else do I want to say about him? So, yeah, Mars in Pisces would have made him quite violent because it would have been quite repressed. it makes a sextile to Uranus as well by a degree. So Uranus is all to do with the eccentricity. So having a sextile to Mars would have made him a bit of a pervert, a bit kinky, made him strong sexual fantasies that he wouldn't not been able to control. It. The sextile's his sun as well. So Mars sextile in the sun would have made you a strongly violent and sexual person as well. Sextile is MC is Capricorn. So the trouble is he's got this really strong sexual Mars, but his stellium's in Capricorn, and Capricorn is, you know, stellium would have been all to do with repression and having this repressed anger which he just didn't have an outlet for, to explode. So yeah, I said about his critical degree of Saturn and Pluto as well. What else did I want to quickly go over? Sixth house. Oh yeah. So when you go in, I wanted to talk about his Placidus, because when you go into Placidus, his house size is obviously enlarged. He's got a huge 12th house and a huge 6th house as well. So your 12th house, he's got Pisces, Aries, also Taurus, you know, part of that 12th house. So I'm not saying he had split personalities, but having the 12th house is the hidden house and to do with your mind, your inner mind as well. So having all those massive 12th house, he would have, I'm not sure if he would have heard voices or whatever, but he would have had so many different things going on in that house. He would have like strong emotion from Pisces. He would have fire and rage from Aries, and his Taurus side would have want to been indulging and, you know, trying to seek some stability. But he would have had Uranus in his 12th house, and Uranus in the 12th house can make you schizophrenic, crazy, voices, all that. So we had all that going on as well. His 6th house, he had Virgo, Libra and Scorpio. So the 6th house is all your enemies. It would have do your health, obstacles. So the Libra rules can rule prison, and you got Scorpio, sex and death in that 6th house. These are all your obstacles and your downfall as well. Do you know what I mean? So we had all that going on. You got Neptune making an opposition to Saturn. So it's like he would have not had any boundaries when it comes to knowing what reality was. Do you know what I mean? Neptune making a trine to the moon as well, and making a trine to his sun. It's like he wouldn't have known the reality. The lines of reality would have been heavily blurred for him of what is right and wrong, as to why he was doing things. So that's him. I'm going to bring up her chart as well. So yeah, this is her chart now. So my girl's a Gemini rising, right? So like I said before, we're talking about like the darker side of these astrological aspects. I'm just picking out all the negatives, obviously, and the really low vibrations, because we're dealing with like criminals here and serial killers. So don't be like, oh well, I'm a Gemini rising, I don't mean I'm a serial killer. No, it doesn't. Well, you got, mind you, there's more Gemini and Virgo serial killers than any others, and we look into it. But anyway, I've dated a few crazy Geminis actually. But yes, so she's a Gemini rising. She was a Gemini rising, shall we say? And like I said before, Gemini rising people can be known to be very loose with their morals, have difficulty with right and wrong, or what they think is right or wrong is different to everybody else's. They will experiment, try different things. They're down for whatever, you know. Very open-minded individuals, to put it in a nice way. She also has Uranus in the first house in what we're looking at the moment. Am I in whole sign? Yeah, I'm doing whole sign. I'll look at whole sign first. So yeah, she also has Uranus in the first house. I've noticed a lot of serial killers have the Uranus in the first house. Uranus is the mind. It's erratic, eccentric. So Uranus is like a lightning bolt, isn't it? It fucks things up. Imagine having that in your mind. In your first house, your being, right? She also has Aquarius, the ruler of Uranus, in the MC and her 9th house as well. So yeah, MC is how you got to come across and how you how your public persona, shall we say? So she would have come across very erratic, eccentric, same as him, static, eccentric. erratic, eccentric, can't fucking speak, cold, aloof, weird, odd, strange these people are, do you know what I mean? And they come in the fringes of society. These are those sort of people. She got Saturn in the first as well, so again, Ian Huntley had the same thing where Ian Brady on the wrong serial. So I've done another video on another serial killer which I want to release later. He was called Ian something as well. But anyway, yeah, Ian Brady also had Saturn aspect to his Uranus as well. So this is like a clash here. Whereas one part you're eccentric, you're wild, you're free, you're this, that, and the other. You're crazy. Saturn's putting a block on all that as well. So like it's like I can't have this struggle to express themselves. You know what I mean? And because they find it hard to express and their emotions become repressed, whether that's just through their own mental being or through their childhood as well, because having Saturn in the first house can make you have a really difficult upbringing with, as a child also. So I think she had that as well with her own family, where she was had a really, really difficult childhood, and where she was learned to repress a lot of feelings as well herself. So what else do you want to say about her? Mercury. I'm just looking at my notes. Rory Mercury conjunct the second house. Her chart ruler is Mercury, which is in the second house, and Mercury's in Cancer. So Cancer can rule children as well. I know they had a lot of violence towards kids, didn't they? Having that aspect. So her Uranus is making a square to Mars and to Pluto. Yeah. Oh God. So yeah. So it's kind of, she has Uranus sextile in Pluto. So, and also her sun as well. So she's quite a long, because of the degrees, how the degrees fall. I'd say her Uranus is sextile in her sun and Pluto as well. So Pluto being the planet of sex, obsession, death, stalking, violence, all that sort of stuff. It's first of all, it's conjunct her sun. All right, so that would mean those sort of matters to her were quite not comforting almost, but like second nature to that person, because it's making a conjunction to her sun. It can make people obsessed with her. It can make her obsessive. It can make her then violent, have violent rage, obsessive behaviour, strong sexual fantasies as well. So all that is part and parcel to her being, because it's in her sun. Her sun's at 29 degrees. Again, like I said, it's a critical degree in astrology. Critical dangerous degree. So she's got her Venus at 29 as well. So having Venus in Gemini anyway can make you a fucking freak anyway, make you into like have sexual fantasies which aren't the norm. She's got that at 29 degrees. It's making a square to Neptune as well at 27 degrees, and when it's square to Neptune, it can blur the lines of what's right and wrong when it comes to sex and love and relationships as well. She was in love with the serial killer, wasn't she? She was in love with that Ian Brady. So so Venus square Neptune, love has no boundaries. Love has no, there's no right or wrong. Do you know what I mean? She'd attract partners that would like abuse her and pull the wool over her eyes, or she'll have rose tinted glasses when it comes to. Well, she had rose tinted glasses because she's fucking getting out of serial killer. Do you know what I mean? She just thought the sunshine out of his ass. So obviously she was under the illusion, under spell of lovers because of that aspect as well. So yeah, I'm saying Venus at 29 degrees in Gemini make you a down-ass freak anyway. It's she's got Mars at 24 degrees as well, so that's sextile in her. He has Mars sextile Venus, so does she as well. So she's very strong sexual characters, so they ignite that in each other as well. But I'll come to that when I do their synastry. But they have similar aspects there. Again, Pluto Pluto sextile Uranus as well, very volatile character. Pluto in the house of the mind. Pluto in Leo as well, very fiery Pluto. So she would have been very quick to anger, having that hidden rage. The Uranus could be like making you switch 1 minute to the next. Do you know? 1 minute they're okay, 1 minute they're not. Very switchy people. So yeah, Pluto sextile Venus as well. So she's into that kinky ass shit. She would have made them violent, and it would have given them tendencies to want to cause harm to others. She's got a sunshine moon. So when you got sunshine in the moon, I wouldn't say men are a downfall, but like how can I put it? So like yeah, the sixth house is like your hidden enemies. So the moon is how you form relationships and your emotions and stuff. So it would have kind of been her downfall almost, you know what I mean? Having that moon in Scorpio as well. Scorpio moon people are fucking deceptive to fuck anyway. They lie, they cheat. I'm not saying all Scorpio moons are like that, but obviously we're talking about a serial killer here. So Scorpio moon, it would have made her very strategic how she does things. It would have made her planning and plotting these murders would have been easy for her because they have that Scorpio moon. They're very strategic anyway. It's making a square to her Mars as well. So Mars square the moon, she would have been quite a violent person anyway. Or especially in her mind, you know what I mean? Scorpio moon squaring a Leo Mars, she would have been very violent, very sexually orientated person anyway. I'm just going through my notes as well. Chiron and Mars. Oh yeah. So I put down about Chiron conjunct Mars. Well, Chiron's your biggest wound, pain as well. So she was having Chiron in Leo. It's like having an almost very public pain, isn't it? I mean, obviously they're one of the most famous serial killers in England. You know what I mean? So the UK or not the world. So her pain would have been very public. Do you know what I mean? Having Chiron conjunct Mars as well. Mars rules the men in your life. So having Chiron conjunct that one, her men who were a downfall. She got with Ian Brady. She became a serial killer. Talk about biggest downfall, biggest pain. You know, it was conjunct the North Node as well. So her life mission or life purpose was to meet him and become. You know, it was part of their karmic karma to karmic debt almost. To she would have met him, North Node conjunct Mars, you know? It was part of that. Mars being, people that you're attracted to, your males in your life, 29 degrees, a critical killer degree, conjunct Chiron, your biggest wound, biggest pain in your life. So her moon, I'm going to go back to her moon as well. So her moon is sextiling Neptune as well. So again, the lines of what's right and wrong are very much blurred here. Because she's got Neptune Virgo, so it's like they want to be analytical. They want to be super critical, this, that, and the other. But the Neptune just blurs all that and doesn't know what's right or wrong. Let me just switch this over because she's got loads of good ones, good points to make with her chart in Placidus. So she also has a really huge 12th house, and I'm just having a look. Their houses are very similar. So yeah, she also has a very big 12th and 6th house when you go into Placidus. So she's got Uranus moving into a 12th house now. Again, 12th house being your mind, how you think, your hidden house. Uranus is like in their house of Uranus being erratic, irrational, psychotic. You've got that in the house of the mind, of the hidden rage. You've got Saturn in the house, Saturn in your 12th house. I've noticed with serial killers who go to prison that having Saturn and Uranus in your 12th house is quite common. Saturn being the house of the planet of imprisonment as well. So having Saturn in the 12th can indicate prison. Also not for everybody. Obviously she's got Capricorn in the eighth house, ruler of the eighth in the 12th house is, can also have indication to prison. The eighth house in the 12th house, so that can be a prison indicator. I want to say, what did I say about 24 degrees of Mars? Oh yeah, so that was really interesting. So 24 degrees of Mars is Taurus. Well, Ian Brady was a Taurus rising, as we said earlier. So that can indicate your partner as well. So that shows her partner there, her downfall, like I said before, with Chiron being there. Oh yeah. So I'm going on about a north and south node. Anyway, so she's got a north node in Virgo. So that would have made her Pisces in South Node. So Pisces South Node is what you bring with you from your past lives. So she would have been someone who would be easily deceive others and be deceived herself, and which is what he did to her. He kind of like, I mean, obviously she had all these chart indicators anyway, so she could have been a serial killer anyway, but he activates all that in her chart. So it would have made her deceptive, or easily deceived as well. It would have made her attracted to abusive relationships, having Pisces South Node as well, easily seduced, easily manipulated. She could have done that to others also, having that Pisces South Node. Especially in the House of Gains as well. Do you know what I mean? What else do I want to say about her? I can go on and on about her because she's very interesting. What I'm going to do, I'm going to flip over to the synastry now. So the synastry chart. Where is it? Where did I do the synastry? Let me just pull up the synastry chart and then okay. So yeah, this is the synastry chart. I've got Myra Hindley on the inside and Ian Hunt on the outside. I keep calling fucking Ian Brady, it's the wrong serial killer. I'm doing a chart on him ages as well. I need to upload that. But anyway, so you've got theirs together now. And look, so they've got North Node in 7th house. Whose is that? That's his North Node, falls into her 7th. So she would have been seeing him and been like, oh my God, this is my dream partner. Everything about him, this is what I want. His South Node would have fallen into her Ascendant. So her South Node hit on the Ascendant. What's his North Node degree? His North Node degree is 5 degrees. Her ascendant's at 14, so it's very loose. The Uranus is at the South Node as well, and Saturn at the South Node as well. So this is like strong karmic ties from the past, having the karmic Saturn on the South Node. South Node is your past life as well. So they definitely had some past life karma to sort out in this lifetime. Have they achieved that? I don't think so. What else can we see? Okay, so we've got 8th house stellium here. All of his planets fall into her 8th house. So it's like sex, death, marriage partner, all that. His sun and moon fall into her 8th house. So she would have been like, oh my God, this is my marriage partner. It's someone I spend my life with. His Venus falls there, Mercury falls there. Obviously, he's got his Venus and Mercury natally are fucked up anyway, and it's in her house of sex and death and taboo and occult and all that dark side of life in her 8th house, which is triggering all that. So it would activate her 8th house, making her want to be all fucking freaky and shit as well. And her 8th house would have activated his dark side also. Excuse me. Also as well. His ascendant falls into her 12th house, so he was her undoing. His planets fall into his ascendant, his being is in her 12th house. It would have been her downfall, he was her ruin and downfall. His Uranus fucked up his Uranus in the 12th house is like fucking up her mind and all these, making her be more of a lunatic as well, because she had Uranus in the 12th house also. What else do I want to say? Let me look at my notes quickly. So his Mars, it trines her. Where's his Mars gone? His Mars. Yeah. So. Where's her shit gone? Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, again, I was want to say, so his Mars, right, is on her tenth house. So she's like literally idolized him. Do you know what I mean? So like this Pisces South Node shit. They can't they make allowances for the lover. Like this is more than like, oh yeah, he snores at night, it doesn't matter. The man was a fucking serial killer. Pisces don't have boundaries. They literally have rose tinted glasses when it comes to their partners and stuff. Yeah, so he's got his Mars also trines her moon in the sixth house. So she was literally like, bowled over by him. Do you know what I mean? This is where this attraction comes from. His Chiron falls into her Venus as well. So I don't know whether that would have manifested in then inflicting pain on others, also pain on her. Because I know they sexually abuse their victims and kill them and stuff. So having that Chiron on that Venus, I don't know whether that would have obviously manifested in them reenacting that together, or also it would have been like her deepest wound would have been her love life, because obviously she got with him, and it caused her downfall, going to prison and committing all these murders. So having Chiron conjunct, I've lost the chart now. Where is it? Having Chiron conjunct her Venus would have brought that about. Pluto conjunct the Sun as well. So they got Pluto conjunct Pluto and Pluto conjunct the Sun. So it would have given that. When you have Pluto conjunction, yeah, it is. What's the word? It is generational, because it means you're born around the same sort of time. But also having that aspect can give you that obsession with each other. Pluto becomes obsessive. When Pluto conjunct the Sun, it's like they can't live without each other. They become obsessed about each other, and they'll have obsessive behaviour, whether that be with other people committing these sexual violent acts, encouraging each other to do that, or within each other, and just can't live without each other, and bringing out each other's Plutonian dark side. That could have manifested like that as well. So the Jupiter is conjuncting the MC. The MC is Aquarius as well. So Jupiter's blown up that Aquarian eccentricity. So his Jupiter would have blown up her Uranus, because Uranus is her MC ruler. So his Jupiter would have expanded that, encouraging her to be wild and more mad as well. Yeah, I've already said about the ascendant on the South Node, and Uranus squaring Mars as well would have encouraged that violence. So her Uranus makes a square to his Mars, and so it would have encouraged him to we would encourage that violent behaviour, and encourage that rage to manifest even at a stronger level. They had a Sun opposition as well by house, so they would have illuminated each other's craziness and illuminated each other's violent tendencies, having this Venus opposition as well. So again, it's like can't live without each other, need to live with each other. A violent attitude would have been amplified and magnified by having their Jupiter opposition, Sun opposition, Pluto conjunction, all that sort of stuff, because their second house and their eighth house stelliums were opposing each other, so highlighting each other's darker side. Are we talking about 63, 64? Oh yeah. That comes under there. So I'm looking at my notes, and I did some stuff about the trial as well. So I'm going to flip onto that now. Let me look at their trial dates. Just give me a second. I'll pull up the dates of their trial. So yeah, I did a transit reading, a transit chart, just to see what was going on the day of their trial. So he was having, so interesting, a Saturn return. So this happens sort of like every sort of 29 years also, and Saturn comes back to its natal position. And when that happens, it's like a almost like a rite of passage sort of thing. What happens is like leaving your childhood behind, and it's like life begins at 30, all that sort of thing. Everyone goes through the Saturn return, and when they go through the Saturn return, like it's like life throws loads of shit at you for you to evolve and develop, and become a stronger person, or become your evolved person who you're meant to be, your life purpose. So Saturn return are quite pivotal moments in anyone's chart, in anyone's lifetime. It happens when you're 29, it happens again in your late 50s. Like transition moments in your lifetime. So he was going through his Saturn return when he was going to prison. Saturn return with Chiron on his conjunct his Saturn return. So the day of his trial, your deepest wound, Saturn 29 degrees, he was going down. There was no doubt about it. His Saturn return, what teaches you hard life lessons. He had that conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. That was on the day of his trial. Where was his North Node at? Oh yeah, so the North Node is in his first house. Conjunct Algol. Algol is like one of the dark stars of astrology, and extreme bad luck and stuff. So he had the North Node in his first house. He was going to prison. That was his karmic destiny to do that. So the North Node was conjunct his South Node. It's really interesting. Mars and the Sun were conjunct Uranus as well that day. Uranus being like, sudden decisions, sudden changes of fortune. Well, going to prison would have been a fucking change of fortune, wouldn't it? North Node conjunct South Node. So transiting North Node is conjunct his South Node. So his past life karma biting him on the ass. Saturn conjunct Saturn for his Saturn return, and that North Node is like, yeah, you're going down. You're going down now. I want to show you what's going on. Oh yeah, let me quickly change over. He had Mercury in the 12th house. Mercury ruling his second house, and Jupiter conjunct Chiron as well. So to Jupiter was expanding his deepest pain. Chiron would have been like his deepest wounds, and the ruler of his deepest wounds was in the house of imprisonment in the 12th house that day. Anyway, travelling through there. I'll show you what was going on with her chart as well. So the day of their trial, hers is super interesting as well. She had the North Node in the 12th house. So the North Node, your karmic destiny, was in the 12th house of imprisonment. So she was going down. There was no doubt about it. I'm going. Can I get this in Placidus? Did I get that in Placidus as well? Where is it? Do I have it in Placidus too? So Saturn. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, so transiting Saturn was on her 10th house. Your 10th house is your public persona. Again, Chiron and Saturn were in conjunction then. So your deepest wounds were paying their karmic debt. 10th house being your house of public persona, public image and social status. Well, her social status would have changed from being a free woman to being imprisoned. Having that North Node in the 12th house, So ruler of the 8th was transiting the 10th that day. Also, ruler of the 12th in the 10th that day in the conjunction to Chiron, so her deepest wound again. So yeah, they were definitely going down. Saturn is imprisonment, there was no doubt about it. That would have been getting banged up. She got Pluto and Uranus in the 4th house opposing her 10th house. So your 4th house is is all internal, and your home life. So she had Pluto, the house of destruction, and Uranus as well, the house of quick change. Well, her new home would have been prison. So yeah, interesting. I've had to take a massive deep breath. Their charts are so intense. But I wanted to put that out there. I wanted to get their charts done. We're going to be doing loads of more serial killer charts, so you can delve into the minds of serial killers. We've been asked to do it by loads of my friends and family, and so I thought I'd put it out there. So keep an eye out for more in-depth chart readings with serial killers. And I hope you enjoyed that. And if there's anything you want to anything else you want to add into the comments that you've seen that I didn't see or pick up, I'd love to hear it. And if you want to book a reading with me, just drop me a message on my Insta, which is Pluto Boy Astrology. I'll put a link in the chart in the video. I'd love if you liked, subscribed, shared my videos, comment. Yeah, you can book your readings via YouTube as well. And yeah, I really appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much for listening. See you later.